Welcome to 15-Minute Theatre, the only review show that squeezes a whole production into 900 seconds. The date is Saturday the 10th of December 2022, and we've just been to see Hex. Open the house. Sorry, who are you?
My name's Vicky. We used to be friends.
We did, didn't we?
And then I just didn't want to hang out with you anymore.
Left. You just went.
I moved, didn't
It's been like a whole year, Vicky. Well, not since we've seen each other, but since we've been doing this theatre gig.
Well, we just haven't been to the theatre, have we?
It's a long commute for you these days, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's wonderful to see you.
Oh, it's very nice to see you too.
Thank you very much for my very nice birthday present.
Well, this was your birthday, wasn't it? The ticket to the Hex.
To the Hex. So this, we'll talk about it, I guess, in a minute, won't we?
Yeah.
Oh, you've been all right though? You all good?
Yeah, I'm all right.
We're not going to disclose your location because we don't want loads of fans turning up at the door.
No, I'd rather
it's quite
not.
easy to find, really. Once you get to the location, they'll find you easily. So.
Well, I'm always
it's just opposite
hanging
the
around.
post box.
Yeah.
That's a good sign.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's enough clues. Right, should we get on with it then?
Come on then.
We've got lots to talk about. Alright, so I'm just going to give you a few facts.
Okay, please do.
Alright, so it was written by, the book was by Tanya Ronda, music by Jim Fortune, and lyrics by Rufus Norris. It was directed by Rufus Norris, actually. The musical director was Mark Otritzler. Choreography was Jade Hackett. Set and costume designer was Katrina Lindsay. Notable actors were... Right, this is where it gets a bit confusing, but Bert was definitely Michael Alcock. Princess Rose was Rosie Graham. Queenie was Victoria Hamilton Barrett. God, she looks good. Fairy was Lisa Lamb. And a few other people played a few other parts.
James is just scrolling through the information on the internet because we did not buy a programme.
And also, my printer's not working, so I have to do that. Anyway, that's enough.
Cost of living crisis. You can't get a programme every time.
Okay, so the venue, it was at the Olivia Theatre at the National, and it's running until the 14th of January 2023. And the length, including the interval,
Including the interview.
We'll talk about that later, I think, but
yeah.
It's supposed to be just under 3 hours, I guess. It's
yeah.
2.25 hours each side.
2 hours and 2 hours each side.
Anyway, right, so, co-host.
Yes.
Have you noticed my script's now generic?
Yes.
Co-host, please could you give us a synopsis?
So basically, it's set around the story of Sleeping Beauty with a twist. It's all about how Sleeping Beauty came to be a Sleeping Beauty. And
sorry, can I just interrupt? Isn't that always how it is? What it's about?
No, it's more about Sleeping Beauty's. Well, it's about the person who created the problem of her falling asleep.
Yeah.
And then trying to wake her up.
Yeah.
That's it in a very tiny nutshell.
Yeah. It's kind of it's looking more at the minor character, isn't it, and changing the story quite somewhat.
Yeah, and it's all about the sort of magic of it, isn't it?
Ah, okie dokie. All right, so wow. Okay, so what did you think?
I thought it was good and bad.
Do you know what? But I agree. I think where it was good, it was very, very good.
When it was bad, it was horrid.
So we should mention it was a musical, shouldn't we?
It was a musical, yeah.
Okay, so can we start by talking about the music? Because I think we're going to have to do this in sections a little bit because there's a lot to get through.
Yeah.
The first opening number was were sung by these three fairies, which are all airlifted and very, very powerful.
Yeah.
I thought, wow, this is going to be really good. I really like this music.
Yeah.
It's different. It's new. It's upbeat.
I love an upbeat track.
Well, no, but I did. I thought it was good. But then, as it went on, I noticed that a lot of lyrics were the line repeated again and again.
This is where I felt the production did sort of fall down a bit. The lyrics weren't amazing.
And they used the same tune a lot.
Yeah. I didn't really have a problem with the same tune over and over again, but I just felt it was a lot of like trying to shoehorn things into rhyme.
Yeah. Also, to be honest, as it got on, for me, there were only a couple of songs that were really strong and upbeat. I know, that's the second time I've used the word upbeat.
You are getting old. Your memory's gone.
But some of them were very kind of dreary numbers, really, I thought.
Now, I was going to ask you what your favourite song is, but your favourite song is probably your favourite moment. And should we cover that in a minute?
Yeah, let's... yeah, all right, yes, let's do that. All right, so, what about... Let's talk about something that I really liked.
What did you really like?
I really liked the design.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, costumes, design, I thought was really strong.
I'd say it was quite a spectacle.
Ah.
It's quite a spectacle. Yeah, I mean, the costumes were brilliant. It was very... I mean, the set itself wasn't enormously complicated, but it had some nice touches, some little unexpected bits and bobs.
Yeah, I mean, so they used the revolving stage, didn't they?
They did use the revolving stage,
and
it did look. It was really like eye catching. It was really.
So obviously we're going to try and keep away from spoilers, but the chorus at one point were playing servants, or two different kinds of servants, and the costumes really represented that, didn't they? The original court at the start, they were just really striking. They all had these kind of feather things, didn't they, coming out their heads and stuff.
Yeah, and sort of like tutu skirts.
Yes,
sort of, the guys and the gals.
Yeah, and then you had some thorns, and I think you spotted something.
Well, the thorns had like big thorns sticking out of their costumes, and one of them had one in a very inappropriate place.
I guess, and yeah. Can we just talk about? Maybe we should talk about
inappropriate places.
Yeah, because this is where it started to fall down. I think that it was so that I think they were trying to be a bit edgy, and I think they set the mark a few times, really, because this is a family show, and I'm not approved by any stretch of the imagination.
No, there were some cuss words which I didn't think were appropriate. I think the thing about the National is it does quite often it has shows that are sort of trying to push things and make things a bit different, and sometimes they work brilliantly, and sometimes they can fall a little bit flat. And I think this was one where it sort of had a bit of both.
Yes, I think you're right, and it's also about the kind of what's in fashion at the moment, in vogue, really, I should say. So
On Vogue, the band.
Oh, is that what it meant? Yes. Because at the moment, obviously, it's not cool to be. It was very classist, wasn't it? Because you had the fairies at the top looking down on everybody.
Yeah.
But if you're a kind of bit of a reject from society, not very good at stuff, then you're great.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, if you eat people, that's just who you are. It should be celebrated. I mean, that's kind of the message she was giving at some point.
Well, it was about, I think, sort of sort of fighting against the bad side of you to become a good person. I think that's maybe what that bit was.
What did you think of the story of the whole?
Well, I mean, it's Sleeping Beauty, isn't it? But with a twist. So, which obviously we're all quite familiar with. But Sleeping Beauty wasn't the central character, which is where this sort of
quite a small part, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was mostly about a fairy, wasn't it?
It was right. Yeah. So let's get on to her. All right. So the fairy, the main character is a fairy without wings. She causes all the trouble in the first place, and tries to fix it, causes more trouble, and then causes a lot of trouble at the end, which we'll talk about in a bit.
She's extremely troublesome.
But I found her really annoying.
You didn't like her, did you?
I didn't like her at all, and I'm really sorry, because I could see that she was giving a good performance, actually, but she really annoyed me. I
think she had a really beautiful voice. And one thing I did notice is she did forget her lines a few times.
Oh.
But I don't think I had as much of a problem with her as you did.
I do hate it when I dislike someone immensely. I don't know why, because to be honest, there were some people I thought were brilliant. I thought Queenie was fantastic.
She was amazing, and I also really liked the Prince Bert.
Her son?
Yeah. What was his name?
Prince Bert.
I just thought he was fantastic. When he came on, he brought such an uplifting energy.
Yeah. I mean, look, that was one of my favourite moments. His song.
That's my favourite moment.
Oh, it was a good moment. Well, look, the one thing I do really want to talk about, because I thought the choreography was exceptionally good.
The choreography was really, really, really good.
I've not seen anything quite like that before.
No.
It was kind of to capture the mood, and I mean, to be honest, I think it lifted the songs a lot because the movements were they weren't jerky, but they were so kind of, I don't know how to describe it, but they were so on the ball, weren't they? They were great.
Yeah, very in time with each other. Yeah. It definitely did bring an energy to it that it probably would have lacked if they were.
And the humour. A lot of humour in those dances.
There was a lot of humour, actually.
I think, do you know what? I think my favourite member of the cast was the chorus.
Yeah, they were very good. I mean, they brought all of the humour, didn't they, really?
Yeah. And it stopped it from becoming a little bit...
dreary.
I mean, it did have a danger of doing that. I feel bad about saying that, but... did have a bit of it. Saying that, I'm really pleased we went to see it, and I think it was really nice to watch something different. At least they're trying to make something different. It wasn't like your traditional panto, thank God.
Yeah, and it wasn't really a traditional musical in many ways, was it?
No, because it just used the same song, all repeating one line over again. Oh, if they did that song about the moment in your middle of your head or whatever it was, and I can't bang it on about it to make it. And there was a song that opened Act 2, which it kind of became a bit more relevant, but not really very relevant.
No, you really disliked some of the songs, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, I didn't. I wasn't so bothered. But yeah, I really bits of it were great, and bits of it were a bit bland. I'm trying to find who the prince was.
Well, we had the prince go back, so we were still on the computer.
Excuse the clicking.
Clickety-clack.
Normally we have everything sort of written out. There he is. There.
Yeah. So I don't think we had the main fairy, which is put down on this. She just really...
Do you not think? No, I think that was her. I'm looking at her face.
Which one is it?
Lisa Lamb, I want to call her.
Oh, God.
You just didn't like her, did you?
I don't want to get into it.
Okay, let's not start.
Let's not start by ending. All right. What's there anything you... what's there a standout moment for you? Come on.
Yes, there were a few bits that I really enjoyed, but I think my favourite bit was where the prince, I guess the Prince Charming character, Bert, when he appeared, he just came on and he was dancing this quite incredibly energetic dance moves and singing, and I just thought it just really lifted.
Yeah, I agree.
So enormously, and I thought he was fantastic.
I'll tell you what I had a problem with. There was a scene, without giving it away, well, two problems really. There were spinning wheels all over the place, because obviously it's Sleeping Beauty.
Yes.
But there's no mention of a spinning wheel at all in the whole thing.
Well, she didn't get pricked by a spinning wheel.
That's right. So was
she?
It just misdirection, do you think, with all the spinning wheels everywhere?
Yeah, I don't know. That was a strange element of the set, wasn't it?
Well, it was just... unless it had to be specifically for that reason, unless, you know...
Yeah, I don't know. It was a bit odd.
And... there was right, So instead of having our spinning wheel, we had a spinning man who spanned something which made the table appear.
It made absolutely no sense whatsoever. I did not understand why he was there.
Wasn't relevant to he gave away a plot point, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean,
but anyone could have done that.
Yeah, I didn't get his character.
And also, I didn't realise it was a big secret until he mentioned it.
No.
Everyone had died. I mean, that was another difference to the original story. I think in the original, didn't they all just go to sleep?
Do you know what? I can't remember. I'm going to have to...
Yeah, because she didn't wake up and her parents were dead, did she?
We're going to have to get on the old Disney Plus, aren't we?
Yes. That's what we do these days. We don't go to the theatre, we just watch Disney Plus. And during... I don't want to give away what happened, but... look, I mean, we've mentioned it earlier, we don't say who it was, but there's a strong element of people trying to eat babies in this. And we know fairy tales can be dark and horrible and all that kind of stuff, but...
Yeah, which is kind of the point of them in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, but I thought... I just felt those bits, again, It was just a little bit weird and distasteful, I don't know.
I think maybe there were some bits that... Because there were a lot of children there, weren't there? And I think maybe there were some bits that maybe weren't really appropriate for children.
Well, there's a bit where she looks up and goes, stuck up B.
B.
Well, because we don't swear on this
Stuck up
podcast.
B.
You may... yeah,
What was your standout moment?
I'm a...
You had a favourite character, didn't you?
Well, did I?
Yeah, there was someone you really loved.
Oh, Queenie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought she was great. And yeah, everything, her movement, everything she did was fantastic. And I've just looked at her in real life, and she's very different.
She's very beautiful. Her name is Victoria Hamilton Barrett.
And I'll tell you what, Victoria Hamilton Barrett, you can work an audience, which we'll get to in a bit. She was
a real powerhouse, wasn't she?
But as the fairies descended at the start, and they did that song, I thought, oh, this is going to be remarkable. So that was my favourite moment. And usually I get more disappointed as I go through, especially when I find out how long they are.
Did you fall asleep at any point?
I might have fallen asleep a little bit.
That's what I usually do.
Yeah. Anyway, listen, shall we take a quick break and then come back and score it?
Oh, yes, please.
So we're back. So just before we get on to our scores, all important scores, which I'm probably some pencils for, should we talk about audience antics?
Yeah, go on then. What do you want to say about them?
Well, we have got a lot to say. What an exciting event! So we were virtually towards the end, weren't we? About 10 minutes before the end.
I think they said there was 8 minutes left.
That's what I said, about
8 minutes. Yeah.
And suddenly, mid-scene, what was her name? Jenny?
Jenny, oh, hello, this is Jenny, the stage manager. Everyone has to stop. Please stay in your seats. There's a problem with the revolving stage mechanism.
Which was a lie, wasn't it?
Well, we don't know. There might have been.
Well, yes, but there was more to it than that. So we were waiting in our seats for 25 minutes.
Yeah, one of the characters got stuck. Up in the air.
The really annoying one, actually, that I didn't like. And I was saying to you, I bet it's her. And it was her, wasn't it?
Well, they had to get an abseiling man to come and rescue her, didn't they?
and oh gosh, people were clapping and cheering. And all the children were going to take photographs. And
then Jenny came back on saying, can you please not take photographs? Jenny got a bit cross about that, didn't she?
Yeah. But you see, I was trying to work out why they stopped it. Why don't they just... Do they really need the revolving stage? And they didn't, did they, really?
Well, she did...
It's because she was stuck up there and she couldn't get down for a final scene.
She said, we're going to carry on without the revolving stage. So I wonder what would have happened. What did we miss?
Maybe
were they all, like, sort of spinning around like crazy for 8 minutes?
Gosh. I mean, I wonder how long people would have waited for.
Well, there was... people were restless, weren't there? A lot of people going to the toilet.
A lot of chit-chat. You didn't go to the toilet, actually.
Well, I was alright. A lot of chit-chat, children running around.
In fairness, when it started again, it was only 8 minutes and then you went to the toilet.
Yeah, so I was fine. I didn't need to go. I like to go on the toilet before I get on the tube.
You were very regular.
Just in case.
Drives me mad. Anyway, so that was a bit exciting, wasn't it? In a boring way.
It was exciting for about a minute, and then it got very boring.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what was good is like the actors, you could really see the professionality of people. They came back on, got their marks, didn't they?
Yeah.
And my favourite, I'm going to call her Victoria after you, because that's her name.
Thanks.
You know, she was kind of, what do you do when you're playing with the audience? Well, she was
breaking the...
Well, she was like
seal,
doing a few looks, wasn't she? And then they kind of started, and it was right in the middle of a really dramatic bit, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And she just snapped back into it like that.
Yeah, she was very good. Her voice was incredible as well.
Although it was kind of bad timing because there were a lot of lines all about how this fairy had just plummeted from the skies.
Yeah.
I shouldn't really plummet.
Is that spoiler?
No, because they'd have to know what it was all about, wouldn't
Okay, fine.
Forget that bit, listener. It's very unlikely they're going to see it. We've only got a couple of weeks.
What, our single listener again?
It's well known. All right, so shall we score it?
Okay, you must excuse the clicking. As I said, we're normally.
I'm not going to write them there.
No, I'm just saying the clicking of the mouse might be audible.
Right, ow!
James has just stabbed himself with a pencil.
Right, performances. I'm gonna go on. You go first.
No, you go first.
All right. It's got to be a 7 because of that girl.
See, I think the performances in general were very strong. So I'm gonna go a 9.
All right. Narrative plot. I'm gonna give it an 8. It's all right.
I'm gonna give it a 7 because bits of it were a bit ridiculous.
All right. Let's go for choreography. 10 for me.
Yeah, I'll go a 10 as well. It was. Good.
It was brilliant. I can't say enough how good it was. Costume and makeup.
I'm gonna go. I don't know, 9 or 10, 9 or 10, or 9.
Let's give them a 9. I'm gonna give them a 9.
Well, I said first I was gonna give them a 9.
Oh, follower. Let's have Sound of Music. It's got to be I think it's got to be a 5 for me. They lose a lot of points. There was a few good numbers, but not enough to carry it.
I'm gonna go for a 6.
All right. And last one. Was it worth it? Definitely was worth it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Are we not doing staging and technical?
No. But now you've read it out, we're supposed to be better at it, haven't we? Don't always do all the ones. That's why you don't get a script.
Well, staging and technical is a bit tricky because they did have a massive
Do you want to
technical...
mark them down then?
Well, I think we have to.
All right, go on then.
And also...
That's why I wasn't going to bring it up. All right, 5 for me then.
I'm going to say 6.
All right. Okay, so, was it worth it? I'm going to give it... Look, it's Christmas. Thank you. It was a gift. I'm going to give it 2. No, 8.
Yeah, I'd give it an 8 as well.
Yeah, look, at least they were doing something. It was different,
Look, it
wasn't
was fun, and I did quite like the way that the audience all sort of really got together when it all went a bit wrong, and everyone was having a good time, and it was definitely fun. And I think it is maybe not take really tiny little kids to see it, but I think it is a fun show for kids because it's different.
It's different, and kids. I mean, look, kids like it a bit to the edge.
Yeah,
maybe we're just a bit prudish these days.
And I don't think it's patronising towards children at all, which a lot of kids shows are.
Yeah,
it's not. You don't have to be a child to watch it. You can watch any age, any age,
indeed,
but not really young ones.
Not really young ones. All right, so
James has done his maths.
No, I haven't yet.
He's doing his
hard
maths.
work. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm just going to hold the microphone. That's how Nigella Lawson would say it. Nigella, what's her surname?
Stop it! I'm concentrating.
Is she still Nigella Lawson? What's
mean.
her surname?
I don't know. I don't watch cookery shows.
Microwave.
Right, divide. Right, and multiply by 5. Divide by 2. Very technical maths, really. Right.
It's not.
It is.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Well, I was going to ask you to tell the listener what we're watching next, but it'll probably be like Hex, the reunion in 50 years' time at this point.
Well, I think James might actually start going to theatre with his new housemate.
I might have, my new co-host.
New co-host.
Yeah, I found a new scored the galaxy. Scorched the galaxy?
He scorched the galaxy.
Scorched, burnt the place
for
up.
a new co-host. And
well, not a new one, because we are going to continue to do our reviews.
Yeah, I'm gonna pop up every now and again, but unfortunately I don't live in London anymore, so it's a bit tricky, isn't it? I live in the countryside now.
I'll tell them where you live in.
Don't tell them where.
Right. All right. I can reveal that it gets a star rating of 3.82. So let's see. It's a 4-star rating, really, isn't it?
I have no idea how that compares.
Well, it doesn't compare to anything because it's the only one on our leaderboard for 2022. So yeah.
So it's number 1.
Yeah. So it is
It's probably going to be the only one in the whole of the year.
It's top of the leaderboard and bottom of the leaderboard. Oh, thank God that's a theatre bell. You know that means it's time for you to go back to the country.
Oh. Well, I'm going to put my coat on, get on my donkey, and get on the motorway.
Oh, and you stay away from those ferries, especially the ones without wings.
Okay, fine. Thanks for that.
Okay, so it does mean we're out of time. The curtain's down, the theatre's dark, and that was 15-minute theatre. Good night.
Good night.